Radio. Shout it.
What's happening? It's your boy B-High Radio. Shout in, stepping in the building. I got one of my favorite artists of all time, a hip-hop icon and legend all in one, Big Daddy Kane. What's good with it, boss?
I'm great, brother. I'm great, man. Everything is wonderful. Hope all is well with you. And Happy New Year and all that good stuff, man.
Same thing to you too, man. Now, I mean, Kane, can you talk to me about how you've been surviving COVID-19 during this time, man?
In situations like this, man, like I try to explain to everyone, you can't sit around and hope and pray that things go back to normal. You have to just adjust to the new norm, that's what I've basically been trying to do. I miss being in front of big crowds and hearing people scream. But if being in front of a camera while they just film you so they can stream it is what's the new norm, you got to make those adjustments. I mean, it's corny as hell, but it's an adjustment you just got to make. And I mean, other than that, I've been I did like 2 films in 2020, so I've been exploring other avenues as well, So, I mean, that's really been the adjustments, The hardest part is really just, watching my 8-year-old accept it, Yeah. Like my 32-year-old son, he went and started his own business with beard cream, and he stepped his hustle game up, so that's where he at. But my 8-year-old not being able to go outside and shoot Nerf guns at the other kids and stuff like that, he's struggling, man. So yeah, I'm in the basement.
That home looking crazy as hell too.
Yeah.
Now, hey, I got to take it to the top, man. This thing that we call hip hop, as a trailblazer and a pioneer in it, man, what was it that made you get into the game?
Well, I mean, honestly, like I remember when I was just 7 years old back in 1975, going to block parties with my cousin and seeing cats like when they playing like Love Is the Message or Monday Bra, and seeing cats get on the mic and like a mic line form and these cats is rhyming. I was just like, yo, this is something new, innovative that I've never seen before, And then, in 79, when Rapper's Delight dropped, I was like, oh, it's real now. Like, this is not just something around the way. Like, this is something that's on the radio now, So, I mean, I had such a great respect for it. And by 82, I just started doing it,
When it came to your style and your swag and the professionalism that you brought to the game, though, Kane, what was it that, kind of geared you up for your presentation?
Well, I mean, I have to be honest. I had great preparation, because I was able to tour the world with, well, not the world, but, the U.S. with Biz Markie, because he was bringing me out to do cameo appearances. So I was touring the world with him to see what performing was like. And, I had the opportunity to see people like the Fat Boys, Salt and Pepper, Houdini, and then also when I did drop a single, I linked up with Dougie Fresh, and he had one of the greatest conversations with me about performing, because that's probably hip hop's greatest performer, entertainer, and he had one of the greatest conversations with me about what to do and what not to do on stage. So I had great preparation, man.
So when you came out there and it was time for you to drop your first solo project, man, and you jump out there with Ain't No Half Stepping, what was the reception of that, and what was your mindset going into creating that project?
Well, I mean, the first real solo joint was Raw.
Ooh.
Really. That was really the first solo joint. But Ain't No Half Stepping was the first one with the video.
Okay.
And I mean, it was great. It was a beat that Biz had gave to me. And, took it over to Marley Marl crib, and, we put it together, and, it came out dope. And I think that what made it so unique was like, it was hard lyrics over like a mellow track. you know, like a smooth track, but hard lyrics over it. And I think that that's what made it, you know, so different than what everyone else was hearing at the time.
What was the reception up there in New York, though? Because like you said, everybody else had their own swag and way of doing music. But then when you came with your own style, it kind of changed up the game.
Well, you know, yeah, because I mean, at that point in time, you know, you had lyrical cats in the game. You know, you had KRS One, you had Rakim, Chuck D, even, you know, King's Son. You know, you had lyrical cats, but I think that I kind of changed the pace where not only you gonna be lyrical, but you're gonna be able to, you got to go fast. You know, you got to do it on 115 BPMs. You know, and then also it's like while I'm spitting hard lyrics, and then when it come to the break, I jump back with Scoob and Scrap, and we doing dance routines as well, you know, and jumping and flipping and splits and all that stuff, you know. So it was like a different dynamic, like, you know, where, okay, yeah, this is something else, you know.
When you were shooting videos for a lot of those early songs and stuff like that, what was going through your mind when you was thinking to yourself, okay, I'm shooting this video for this song, I'm about to be on TV, and it's my time to shine out here?
I mean, honestly, you know, I was just excited and appreciative, man, honestly, you know, because, you know, I had tried to get a record deal once before, and, you know, that didn't come through. Then I did actually get a record deal, and it just didn't work out. So, you know, to have the blessings where, you know, Fly Ty was willing to sign me to Cold Chill and Warner Brothers, and Benny Medina from Warner Brothers was excited for working with me, and, you know, Biz being the one to put me on, you know, I was really appreciative that, you know, my dream was coming true, and I just really wanted to, you know, supply good music for the fans, man, and inspire others that, yo, you know, you stay at it, your dream can come true.
Being from New York, though, and with New York running the game and being the birthplace of it, what was that motion like coming out of New York with it, and then y'all basically controlling urban culture from that point forward at that time?
You know, it was interesting. It was very, very interesting, because it's like, you know, since I'm from New York, I know New York. I know how we move, how we operate, you know, and hip hop is created in New York, you know, so it's like, you know, it's a normal routine.
Yeah.
But then when you got a show in, say, like North Carolina, Atlanta, New Orleans, you know, and you go down there and you see that people in these other places are trying to dress the way they see their favorite rap artists dressing, you know, and it's like it was crazy, because you're seeing pretty much the same thing in each state, because it's like they're trying to do that, but there's no Delancey Street in these places, you know, there's no 125th Street, you know, no Queens Coliseum. So it's like basically everything is pretty much coming from, you know, like the mall store, merry-go-round, you know, and you know what I'm saying? So it's like you're seeing pretty much the same thing in the state, but, you know, you see where they're headed, you know, fashion-wise, and it's like, oh, wow, that's crazy, like the impact, you know, it was just crazy.
So now songs like Smooth Operator and I Get the Job Done, I mean, when you go out there with these songs that are still going crazy to this day, what is that like when you say, did you feel like those songs was going to be some classics that really were going to change the game for you and just allow you to have the longevity that you done had?
Yeah, like, because you see, it's like you're talking about the second album.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? On that first album, you know, I'm a dude from Brooklyn. All I can really talk about is what I seen in Brooklyn. You know, I can, you know, I can express a little bit of stuff I seen on the road with Biz, but, you know, we mainly venue hotel, you know, but all I can be talking about is Brooklyn. That second album, I done seen the world, you know, so I understood that I had young fans and mature fans, older fans. I understood that I had Black, white, Latino, Asian fans, you know, men and women. So I could express myself more, broaden my horizons. And when I did Smooth Operator, it was like, as soon as I had the concept, the first thing I did was reach out and call Rick James, you know, to make sure that, you know, that we wouldn't have no problems using the Mary Jane Girls.
Yeah.
And when he gave me the go, I like, right then I knew, I'm like, yeah, it's about to happen. It's about to get real.
What was it like being one of hip hop's first sex symbols for the ladies, man?
I mean, well, you know, I mean, there was others before me, man. You know, you got to give LL his props, and definitely Houdini, man. Because I remember on the Def Jam tour, that was the first. Yes, rest in peace to X, man. That's the first time I ever seen women in stilettos at a hip hop show when Houdini was on stage. I'd never seen that before. You know, they know him coming to 5411 Reeboks, you know. But I mean, Houdini had him out in 6-inch heels, man, for real.
Yes,
you know?
sir.
But I mean, you know, I had fun doing what I do as well. You did.
Come on, Kane. Now you know you was a smooth operator. Shooting videos and stuff like that, man. I mean, being able to embody that persona and live it all the way through, though, Kane. What was that like for you?
I mean, well, I mean, hey, man, it wasn't lonely, you know. But those were, you know, that's back in the days, man. You know, good times, man. Good times, man.
I feel that. Now, I mean, other artists, though, and your impact and your swag. So when you look up and you see another generation of artists coming through with gangster rap, but they still paying homage. So somebody like a young Jay-Z early on, man, what was it like seeing him? And did you think that his career would take off the way that it did?
Well, I mean, when I first heard Jay-Z, it was, like, something on Fluke, you know, because I was invited to do a mixtape with Jazz O. And Jazz asked me, can his man rhyme on the tape? You know, and then afterwards, you know, they asked me about helping Jazz establish a new deal. But after I done heard his man, I was like, yo, I kind of like the light-skinned dude better, man. Can I work with him? And that's how me and Jay-Z linked up. And I, you know, after studio sessions and stuff like that, you know, just hanging with Jay was real quiet. So I always felt like he was a lyrical beast.
Yeah.
But I thought that, I felt like he had to work on his personality. So actually, to answer your question, nah, I honestly didn't see it. I thought that he was a lyrical beast with so much potential, but I mean, I didn't like to see to him where he at now. You know what I'm saying? I was like, nah, I didn't see that back then, but I'm so happy, you know, I'm so happy he won. I'm so happy he's successful and he deserved it, man, you know?
From what I'm getting out of this conversation also, though, Kane, the camaraderie in New York. You see what I'm saying? You being able to work with Biz and him being able to show you the love. Jazz O and Jay-Z, y'all working together and showing love to each other at that time. Can you speak to the camaraderie that y'all had at that time and how people were pulling each other up and just actually helping out?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it was the type of thing where, like, you know, you a new generation. Like, you know, when we came out in the late 80s, we looked up to Flash and the Furious 5. We looked up to LL Cool J, Run DMC, you know, so to meet these cats and sit and chop it up with them, you know, you asking them questions and they giving you game, you know. And I mean, the same thing happened in the mid 90s, you know, when Nas had Illmatic, you know, I met him up at Unique Studios and, you know, I'm telling him that, yo, man, a lot of people use that 5 mic term very loosely, but your joint is a 5 mic album, you know what I'm saying? No playing. Like, that's definitely a 5, but still in all, he wanted to know what I would have did different. So if Illmatic was you, what would you have done different? What would you have done? You know, he's asking me questions like that. And, you know, I sat and gave him game, you know?
I mean, what would you have done differently?
I'd have one song in there for the ladies. Because they buy records too, you know what I'm saying? That's what the craziest thing is, like, I told him that, and then like several years later, he had Eric B call me to let me know, like, yo, man, I took your Owe Me Back song. Yeah, he had Eric B call me to tell me about that. It was crazy. I was like, wow, like, because I had completely forgot, you know, that I said that until he mentioned it, you know, years later. Yeah.
Artists like Tupac, working with him, man, what was it like when you saw Pac back then? And then also with him becoming an icon in his own right as well. Did you see that in him at that time too?
Absolutely. When I met Pac, that's when he was dancing for Digital Underground, you know, and I took them on my Chocolate City tour in 1990. Yeah, 1990. And you know, he was dancing for Digital Underground. He told me that he was working on his own solo stuff. And he said that he's like, nah, it's not like no funny stuff like Digital. Like, you know, my stuff is more serious, and, you know, and he spit some bars for me. And I was like, yeah, his flow is crazy. And he seemed passionate about it. Like, you know, like very, very passionate. And then, you know, all the questions he was asking me were questions that, like, as I said earlier, that I was asking, like LL and Run DMC, Houdini, you know. So I saw, you know, the fire in him. Yeah, so I knew. With him, it was crystal clear.
I'm about to jump all around in this thing, Kane, but now
Go for it.
I got to go to the movies, the Posse.
Mm-hmm.
All the time, man, one of my favorite characters of all time. Talk to me about acting in that movie.
Hey, man, I thank Mario Van Peebles, man, for giving me a shot, man. It's such a big role, you know, and I took it very seriously. You know, he said he wanted me to be a gambler from New Orleans. And, you know, I went, you know, back to my family down in Bowman, South Carolina, and spent about close to a week down there just really studying, you know, the way they talk and their Southern accent, all that, you know, just to really get in pocket. And I had to take horse riding lessons for several weeks, you know, got my behind thrown off a horse like 3 times. Real bad look. But we made it through it. And then, you know, I really enjoyed doing that, you know. And I mean, that's something where like the role was really written for someone else. And luckily, you know, and they didn't do it. So, you know, I was blessed with it.
What was that transition like going from rapping to the big screen
though? I mean, it's different because, you know, you're not in control, and things are, you know, it's like I'm used to coming to the studio, like, you know, I can call them like, yo, how we looking? Yeah, I'm almost on finished dumping the track. And, you know, just riding to the city and whatnot, come in the studio, drop my vocals, whatever, and, you know, it's done. But, you know, someone, you know, coming to pick you up 6 a.m, you know, to have you, you know, in hair and makeup by 7 and water, and then you don't film till 2 o'clock in the afternoon. You're just sitting around in an outfit for hours, you know. It's like, they call it the hurry up and wait process. Yeah. So, I mean, that was something completely different. But, you know, I mean, you know, as I said at the top, man, you know, you got to make those adjustments, you know, because, I mean, you know, that's what you really want to do. That's what you want to do. You got to make those adjustments.
How did that impact your star power from music versus the big screen? So, I mean, you already Big Daddy Kane, but now they done had to go to the movie theaters and see you this time. How did that affect you fame-wise and then just your stock in general?
Oh, I mean, well, you know, everybody thought I was gone then, you know, because, I mean, you know, yeah, this was next level, you know, and then also, you know, it wasn't, you know, it wasn't like I was in Juice or Boys in the Hood. I was in a Western, you know, where you gotta really be acting. You know what I'm saying? You look, I'm not disrespecting Juice or Boys in the Hood. I'm just saying, it's like, you know, if you're from the streets, it's easy to act like a street dude because that's what you do every day. You know, I gotta ride horses and talk country. You know, so, you know, yeah, they thought that, you know, like, oh yeah, he's gone now. You know, that's that. You know,
songs like Back on the Block, getting in there with Quincy Jones, man. What was it like putting that bop together?
It was amazing, man. I mean, I have the utmost respect for Quincy because, I mean, that was the first time in my entire career that I was ever produced. You know, I mean, you know, I had people like Marley Marl, Easy Mo B, Prince Paul make beats for me. But that was the first time someone actually sat there and said, no, do this. Do you know about this person? All right, read this. Well, I didn't even know black encyclopedias existed. Quincy Jones had his assistant bringing about 50 books, and we sitting there reading about Dizzy Gillespie, Ella Fitzgerald, Sarah Vaughan, and he's telling me nicknames that he had for them and stuff they did that, like, you know, that he remember. And that's what I'm writing about. Like, he's actually, you know, giving me the game, you know, and I'm penning it. But I mean, yeah, I was actually produced. Like, I didn't just come in and just put some bars to a track that Quincy made. He told me exactly what to talk about.
How did you feel when y'all got a Grammy for that thing?
I mean, honestly, I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy. You know, I mean, I was appreciative. You know, you say I have a Grammy. I was appreciative, but I wasn't happy because we won as a rap group over Public Enemy. You know, and that's a rap group that actually had a Grammy-worthy song, and me, Ice-T, Melly Mel, and Kumo D are not a rap group. You know, we just 4 MCs put together for a Quincy Jones project. You know, I think the Grammys did Public Enemy wrong.
Oh, I feel that. I definitely feel that. When you think about the music industry, and now I got to talk about Tupac again, Tupac and Biggie, when you start to see that beef go crazy. Well, first of all, when you first saw Biggie, how did you feel when you saw him jump in the game and he was a slick, big Daddy Kane?
You know, it's funny because, I mean, that's something that Mr. C used to tell me from the beginning, but I didn't see it until the One More Chance remix. I didn't see. That's when I realized. I'm like, oh, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm like, okay, I get it now. I get it. You know, but Biggie, man, Biggie was dope, man. He was incredible and a funny dude. Like, his personality, I think, would have took him into Hollywood as well. Because, I mean, he was a funny dude, man. Like, yeah, his personality was amazing. I mean, I think on the big screen, he would have did his thing, you know? And not only that, I mean, just watching his progression. I mean, it's like, you know, from listening to Party and BS on up to his last album, like how his skills advanced so fast. I think that he was on his way to probably becoming, you know, the best MC ever, man. You know, I think he was really on his way to becoming that, and they took him away from us too early.
What was going through your mind when you started seeing Pac and Biggie dying behind rap?
I mean, I felt like those were sad days in hip hop, you know, because, I mean, where I come from, you know, the Cold Crush Brothers and the Fantastic Five, you know, they get on stage and they diss each other, battle each other in a rap competition, man. It's like, that's nothing new, competing. You know, I mean, you know, it's like Big and Pac, ain't nothing wrong with them having beef or going at each other on songs. That's always been hip hop.
Yeah.
You know, it's just that, you know, it's not a contact sport, you know, and that's what it turned into, you know. I mean, you listen to the Kumo D versus Busy B battle, the stuff that Kumo D said about Busy B, man, like, yeah, that's when you like, stuff Mo D said just when you want to go get your gun and turn it into something effective. Mo D was just disrespectful on so many levels, man. But it was hip hop, you know what I'm saying? And they had fun doing it, man. And it was, you know, it's like Mo had nothing personal against Busy B. He was just trying to win a battle. You know, and that's the way hip hop is supposed to be, where you can go at each other. You know, I mean, KRS and Shan, you know, the stuff that KRS said on The Bridge Is Over. You know, I mean, he's going at each other, man. But, you know, it's not nothing personal where they throwing hands or nothing like that or busting guns at each other. You know, it's hip hop, and I wish it could have stayed like that, because in my opinion, if the two of them would have did a pay-per-view event back then, because we wasn't streaming then. You know, it was pay-per-view. If they would have did a pay-per-view event back then where Big perform, Pac perform, and then they just go at each other for 3 rounds, yo, the amount of money them dudes would have made, but more importantly, they'd be alive.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
it would show the sign of unity. You know what I'm saying? That even though they beefing, it's all about the music, man. It's cool. It would show the sign of unity.
As an OG in the game, when the folks like Pac and Biggie started coming up and they embraced you as a legend, Nas embracing you as a legend and coming to you for game and advice, how did that make you feel? Because a lot of times in hip hop, you know, the elder statesmen find themselves getting shut out by the younger folks because folks just don't understand what's going on. But in your case, you got embraced and you felt the love.
Well, yeah, I mean, first I had to like really sit back and say, whoa, wait, I'm the old dude now, you know, you know. But
Yeah.
nah, but I mean, it was love because you got to understand, you know, I mean, it was given to me, man, by the generation prior, you know, generation before me. So I wanted to give that love back, you know, because I thought that these were talented dudes, extremely talented dudes. You know, because I mean, I can name another 90s artist that came up to me real out of pocket, you know. And I mean, he just, you know, walked up to me like, yo, Kane, man, I just want you to know, man, that I'm the new you. I'm like, new me? Dog, the old me still here getting the bag, you know, so how this work, you know? So, I mean, you know, you see what I'm saying? But these dudes came, you know, showing love, so I wanted to show love. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to see them succeed, man. And they all did, man. You know, I mean, I wish it could have been longer for Pac and Big, but, you know, they all did succeed, you know, both of them, Jay, Nas, yeah.
So now when you look back over your career, Kane, what was the part that you felt like you was having the time of your damn life?
Honestly, probably right now playing with this little 8-year-old, man.
Whoa.
Yeah. Like right now, I'm probably having the best time of my life, man. Watching this dude and, you know, playing Nerf guns and fighting imaginary bad guys with him. You know, you should see my roundhouse kick. You know, I ain't kicking nothing but air, but it's mean. It's mean, baby. It's mean. Yeah, I'm having a good time, man. Enjoying him, you know, watching him in his childhood, man. Because you know, you know, in the past, you know, I was so, you know, my 32-year-old, I was on the road most of the time. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see a lot of, like, I didn't see him start walking, start talking, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, it's a hell of an experience, man. So yeah, I'm having the time of my life right now, man.
What was that experience like when you was on the road and, you know, in full Big Daddy Kane mode? Did you feel like it was everything that you thought that it would be, or did it turn out to be a little something more crazy?
It was what I made it. You know, it was what I made it, you know. You know, you know, it was like, you know, the shows was crazy. I was really focused on really giving the audience the best show I possibly could. So it's like, you know, I'm always in think mode, you know. And then, you know, after the show, I put the smoking jacket on, the ballet slippers, and a bunch of jewelry, and, you know, wild out, you know. So I mean, you know, I was having a good time, man, you know. But I mean, I was young, you know, doing what young cats do, you know. You know, ain't no regrets, you know, because, you know, it is what it is until it ain't what it ain't, you know.
Come on now. Kane, what would you have went back and told that young guy though while he was out there?
I guess I would have probably told him that, you know, in this music business, you got to understand that, you know, that's two words, music and business, you know? Yeah.
No, I definitely feel that. So now, Media Man, hooking up with Robert Townsend, getting your act on again. What was that experience like?
Robert made me dye my hair blonde, man. I'd never
like the young boys now.
Nah, we wasn't supposed to do that back then. You know? Nah. I mean, I love Robert Townsend to death, but I never forgive him for that. But nah, it was great, man. Because I mean, Robert Townsend is such an animated director. You know, he does all this stuff and this and that. You know, when he talking to you about the scene, and you know, he gets you all pumped up and hyped up, man. You know, beautiful brother, man, beautiful brother.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to record labels, I saw somewhere where you was gonna be signed to Death Row East.
Well, it was a conversation that me and Suge had. Yeah.
What was that conversation like? And was Suge as crazy as they make him out to be in all the movies?
I mean, he definitely carried that persona. You know, I mean, in the top of the meeting, you know, when I came in his office, like two like Rockwallers come running up to me and sniffing all on me. And I'm like, you gonna get your peoples, or you know, I'm looking like, you know, and then Suge, he just, you know, pats his leg like that, and then they run and sit down beside him. I'm like, oh, okay, so we filming a movie now, okay. You know, so I mean, yeah. I mean, to answer your question, yeah, he's definitely like that. But at the end of the day, you know, the brother, you know, offered me an amazing deal. You know, he actually offered me more money than I asked for. You know, yeah, he offered me more money than I asked for. You know, like the issue was, he said, he was like, at the end, he was like, you know, well, look, I don't know how you're doing right now financially, but you know, if you need something, I can cut you a check for like $100 grand, you know, tomorrow, and you know, you can just take that until we work out all the paperwork. You know, and as kind of a gesture was, it just, you know, like, you know, a dude like that, you don't owe. So I walked away.
Yeah.
You know, I just walked away, you know. But, you know, I definitely respected the fact that in a time where nobody in the East Coast, you understand me? Because that's where I'm from, the East Coast.
Yeah.
And this is the time, you know, where it's East and West Coast beef. Nobody in the East Coast was trying to sign me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Dude said, I'm trying to start Death Row East. I got this bag for you. So, I mean, I definitely respect him, you know, reaching out, you know, and, you know, yeah.
When it comes to hip hop and your career and just the whole circle of it all, okay? You start off at the bottom, then you're starting to get some motion, then you're at the top, then you start to go into acting, then you're still rapping, but then you say you look up and it wasn't no love coming out of the East as far as the record deals. What is that whole circle of life like, man? And then coming out of it and getting back into regular life, like you said, you're having the time of your life right now. What is that like when you say, okay, I think I'm about to step off this hip hop roller coaster and get back into the real world and dabble in hip hop as needed?
Wow, great assessment. You know, I mean, you know, it's like, you know, now I'm 52 years old, my dude. You feel me? So I mean, it's like, I love performing, but you know, physically I can't do what I used to do.
Splits.
Yeah. No. I can still do a split, but I can't jump over nobody's head no more. You know, you know, you know. And I mean, you know, it's just different. You know, so it's like, you know, when we doing shows, it's fun, but it's not the same because I know what, you know, what I want to do. You know, I just physically can't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, but and it's like, you know, lyrically I can, you know, like lyrically I can, you know. I mean, I even made like a joint, like, you know, doing, you know, that some of that did, I don't know what you call it, trap stuff, trap or whatever, like, yeah. You know, just to see where I'm at with it. And it's crazy because it took me like about 4 rhymes. Like I had to rewrite the rhyme like 4 times, dumbing it down more and more each time. Like, no, it's too much. I'm doing too much. But just to see if I could do it, you know. You know, I mean, that ain't what I want to do and what I'm trying to do. I just want to see if I can do it, you know? Because, I mean, you know, it's like, you know, I got love for the young dudes and, you know, this is their vibe, this is their energy, you know? I just wanted to, like, just channel in, just to see where they at, you know?
Exactly. When it comes to being a hip hop icon and legend, okay, how did you feel when you got honored at the VH1 honors?
Oh, I mean, that was beautiful. I mean, first of all, you know, seeing Flash and the Furious Five reunited was like epic. If you ever get a chance, look at that. Look at that performance and look how crazy me and LL Cool J are going, saying the rhymes with them word for word. But in my case, it was like, you know, listening to Black Thought, because I know that he can make his voice sound exactly like mine. So watching him, you know, Set It Off and sounded just like me, I'm just sitting there tripping like, wow, man, I love you, Thought, man. And then Common performing Raw, and he just spazzes out and decides that he's going to start breakdancing. I'm like, whoa. But the highlight of the night was T.I.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you know, in R&B, you know, like Al Green, For the Good Times. That's a country song by Chris Christopherson that he remade soulful, you know what I'm saying? So when you see like, it felt like, even though it's all hip hop, it felt like two different genres watching T.I. do Smooth Operator.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It to me, it felt like R&B artist, like I was an R&B artist and T.I. was a country singer remaking my song.
Yeah.
You know, like that was the highlight. Sitting there watching them, like, excuse me, take a few minutes to mail it out. You know, I'm like, yo, this is kind of dope. This is dope. I'm like, yo, like, yeah, I was loving that, man. Yeah.
So now, Kane, when you look over your career, you got a chance to have a career that not many people ever get a chance to experience, okay? You get a chance to impact the lives of Jay-Z, Biggie, Tupac, and Nas. You get a chance to be on the big screen in a legendary film that's still playing to this day. You get a chance to be a part of an iconic time in hip-hop where you were the man at your point. How did it feel being the man? And was there a lot of pressure behind being that guy?
I mean, there's always pressure, you know, when all eyes are on you. When all eyes on you, it's always a lot of pressure because there's always people waiting for you to make a mistake. There's always, you know, haters being judgmental, you know. But, you know, it comes with the territory, you know. If you want to accept that road, then you got to accept what comes with it, you know. So you just keep on pushing and, you know, do you, man, you know, for real.
Were there ever any times that you wanted out of the game before you got out of the game?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, well, there was a time where I did. I'd say like 97, either 97, 98. I can't remember. Out from till about 2003. I was out. Didn't want nothing to do with it. It was like I had just completed a project and I was sitting at a table with some big wigs, and we're having a meeting and they're excited about the project, they're excited of me. And, you know, one of the people I was working with, I was having a serious issue with. And they were talking about Mariah Carey, you know, and they was discussing her success and whether or not she could really sing and this and that and yada, 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 and all this. And the guy that I was having the issue with just out of nowhere says, you know, well, I'm sick of her. And if I hear that song one more time, and I'll always love you, and that's Whitney Houston. You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking at this dude like, you know what? I'm good. Because I ain't going to jail. I'm good. I'm like, if worst come to worst, I just take a 9 to 5 and be a square, man. You know, I'm like, I'm good. Like, I can't do this no more. Cause you got me somewhere else right now, emotionally, you know? And I walked away. And, you know, it wasn't until Dougie Fresh DJ Chill Will was like, yo, since that BET Awards, man, They's like starting this here whole thing called old school rap, man. They want us back, man. You want to do some shows? And then that's when we got back on it. Yeah.
What is it like cranking up the old school rap? And then when you started, did you ever think that you would be able to perform that music? Did you think that hip hop was going to become pop culture when you started it? But when you started in it, I mean,
Yeah. I mean, come on, man. I mean, Run DMC had already, made a song with Aerosmith. The Beastie Boys, like, they rhyming, but, they sounded like, like pop culture,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah. I mean, and like Houdini, like, like their tracks, their tracks had that more European pop feel, So, I mean, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, like Houdini, Run DMC, and the Beastie Boys had already laid that blueprint where, like, you knew that, like, yeah, it's going to be a major, major big thing, and it's going to be accepted like pop culture. Absolutely.
How do you feel about hip hop as a whole right now?
Well, I think that because of it being a corporate thing, just like any other corporate thing, what happens is the order of demand. And once quantity comes in, quality normally goes out.
Mm.
And I worry about that because it's like, I had a nice run. Run DMC had a nice run, Nas, he's still having a great run, Jay-Z, there's a lot of young cats that I don't want to see them, just be hot for 6 months. Just see them be hot for a year, and they trying to figure out what went wrong. I want to see them be successful, and I don't think that there's an older generation giving them the game, teaching them how to be like those individuals, have that type of star power. I mean, in my day, not only am I in magazines, girls is putting my picture on their notebook and stuff like that, hanging my posters on their wall. So right now, yeah, it's the type of thing where, you that new hot dude, girls supposed to be having you as their screensaver and stuff like that, and, it's like you have to really make them embrace you. I think that so many people are taught to follow a trend, but when the trend is gone, you gone.
Yeah.
Because it was just a trend. You have a younger artist, they have to give the public the real them. You know what I'm saying? Where they're like, I want to cut parts in my eyebrows like Kane, or I want to dye my hair purple like Little Yachty, or what I'm saying? It's like you gotta give them you, make them embrace you, so you can have longevity. But that's what I really pray for this younger generation. It's like wherever you take in the game, I want to see you successful in it, and and see you happy, enjoying it. I don't want to see you on YouTube, a year later complaining about, cats ain't checking for you, your label did you greasy, and I don't want to see that, man, because it's like when these are young dudes, you know what I'm saying? These are young dudes, and now, not it wasn't like that back in my day, but now suicide is like a big thing, you know what I'm saying? So I don't want to see nothing happen to no young cat, man. You know what I'm saying? I want him to be happy, enjoying his life, and successful.
Exactly. When you look at hip hop, what transitions in hip hop shocked you the most when you was like, okay, I'm not really feeling where this is going right now, or how the hell did we get here?
I guess when it changed to where the more vulgar and violent your lyrics got, the more radio play you receive. The more conscious your lyrics got, you were pushed underground.
Mm.
Like that was probably the most confusing thing. Like, why would you promote, you know, violence or negativity, you know? Because, I mean, you know, in my era, NWA ain't get no radio play. You know what I'm saying? Luke Skywalker ain't get no radio play. Ghetto Boys ain't get no radio play, you know? And I mean, like, and if they did, they had to edit their song.
Yeah.
They had to edit the hell out of their songs to, you know, to get some radio play. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, understand, it's like, I'm not saying that, you know, the violent music, the negative music is bad music, you know, because it's always been around, you know? Yeah. What I'm trying to say is that when you promote it, you know what I'm saying, that's what people gravitate to. You know, I'm talking about the mental aspect, you know, that's what people gravitate to. But it's like, you know, when you saying that, like, you know, like, okay, we're going to play these conscious songs, you know what I'm saying, then you have a younger generation feeling that conscious vibe, you know, because I mean, this ain't just start with hip hop, you know what I'm saying? Our parents, grandparents, you know, they sit there and listen to the Isley Brothers, the OJs in front of the kids. You go to bed, they throw some Millie Jackson on, you know, they throw some Blowfly on, you know, and you hearing all the profanity in the world, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's like, it's nothing new, you know what I'm saying? It ain't like it's hip hop, you know what I'm saying? It's always been there, stuff like that, you know? But it's the way it's been promoted, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, Millie didn't get no airplay.
Yeah.
Blowfly didn't get no airplay.
Yeah.
You know?
So now, during your career in hip hop, though, Kane, were there any times that you felt like changed you as a person? Well, when you came in as a, you know, wide-eyed young kid trying to figure it out, then you went as a businessman, a performer, popping and everything else. Do you feel like anything in you changed along your journey?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that, I think I'm a lot more mature now, you know, and I look at a lot of things different, you know, and I know how to take that beat, you know. You know, I think when I was a lot younger, I didn't really know how to take that beat, you know. Something was said, something was done, I was automatically like, say what? You know? But now I know how to, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Lastly, Kane, do you got anything you want to get off your chest, and how can folks contact you, man?
Oh man, well, you know, you can find me official Big Daddy Kane on IG and Facebook, and it's just at Big Daddy Kane on Twitter. And if for some strange reason they decide to open this funky ass world up again and let us do shows, you'll always see my schedule on BigDaddyKane.com, you know? Yeah.
I can definitely dig it. Well, Kane, thank you so much for your time, boss, man. Appreciate it.
Much love, brother. Peace and blessings to you.